everyone, welcome to another video. So I'm going to emphasize on attempt a douyin eye look, I think. I'm not so sure if I can pull it off, but I really want to try. In one of my other videos I attempted it, but it ended up turning more graphic because I just like completely messed up the angle. Figured this would also be a good chance for me to use what I just got with my Ulta points, which I know, clown moment, but I was sitting on a pretty hefty truckload of Ulta points and I was like, whatever man, I mean, it's points. I use them to buy whatever I want that I don't actually want to spend money on, so thought that would be fun. So to start off with, I'm going to use my Dominique primer. It's the one that you can't get anymore, and I did check Sephora the other day and it's gone from there too, so I think it has officially kissed the world goodbye. And then I'm going to use the under eye primer that I usually use. I should probably get a new one soon since it's definitely starting to separate a lot more than it was like a month ago. But I'm not dead yet, so I'll just be nasty. I'm going to put on some under eye corrector, and I want to get into the habit of using my color correctors more often, and I also want to see what happens if I just kind of let the primer sit for a little bit longer. I definitely can't wear color corrector on its own, but I have noticed that I feel like my concealer covers a lot better if I color correct first, so. You can kind of see how like it's a little bit brighter now, but it definitely isn't like gonna compensate. Like it can't cover anything on its own, but it does have a slight correcting effect there, which is really nice. Now you can see my under eyes are brightened a little bit more. They're not covered, but a little bit brightened. So now I'm gonna move on to foundation, and today I'm gonna mix two foundations together, the Estee Lauder and the Givenchy matte. I'm not gonna put too much of the Estee Lauder in. I just want to put in just enough that I like stop looking like a K-pop idol. My apologies for always having such a terrible color match, but I don't know what happened. I was supposed to pick N95 and their mistakes were made. So I'm just going to make a little mixture on the back of my hand, and that way I can hopefully kind of change the color. But I don't really want the formula to become too glowy, so I'm hoping that this works. Okay, yeah. My hands are always like way more tan than the rest of me because I need to start putting sunscreen on the back of my hands, so ignore my hands. Okay, and then I'm going to use some concealer. Yeah, so you can see with a lot less concealer, my under eyes look pretty much like they got negated, which is really nice. And then I'm going to use my Hollywood contour wand. I just really like it, what can I say? And I'm going to just do one side at a time because I'm just using the excess left on the applicator from the last time I filmed. So it's gonna dry a little bit faster since it's not fresh liquid from the tube. And that's pretty much that. Like, it's such a fast and easy product for me to use. So that's really all I needed to put on, and then I'll just kind of put the excess under my nose as usual. Alright, and then I'm going to put some setting powder on the outside of my face. I'm gonna leave the cheeks blank though. I don't know if I'm gonna use a cream blush or not. So I'm gonna be using the new JACLYN powder. I've been hearing some really good things about it, and I have had a really good experience with her loose powders so far, and just her powders in general. So for some reason she does face powders pretty well. I'm going to just kind of focus on my outside of my face, and then I'll use to put it on my under eyes. So I'm gonna just use this really big fluffy rougher brush. I really like it. Supposedly this is not going to be as glowy as her other powder, but it's still not completely matte, so we'll see. The true test, of course, is going to be how this sits under my eyes. That's how I can really see how it performs. For under my eyes, I do switch to a smaller brush so that I can have the precision that I need. Alright, so I'm gonna get a mirror and see what my face is looking like, and it's looking really nice. It feels mattified where I put the powder. It does feel less sticky and tacky, so it does definitely feel like it's gonna set my makeup, and I don't see any dry patches. So far, so good. I will of course keep using it. I do plan on making like a speed review video later of all the stuff I've tried this year so far, because I've not tried like as much as other YouTubers had, but admittedly I have tried quite a bit, so I will definitely make a video putting on some lip balm really quick. I forgot to earlier. I'll definitely make a video where I kind of catch up on everything I've used so I can kind of tell you guys what I've been liking. Alright, so I'm gonna put on an eye primer really quickly, and I'm just going to use a pretty simple primer. I don't want to use anything that's terribly tinted, so I'm going to use the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. I am in the market for more eye primers. Now that I kind of know what kind of eye primers I like, I'm definitely kind of in the market looking for ones that fit my criteria. So far I haven't thought of anything, and I don't like buying expensive eye primers because I just hate spending all that money on something that's so boring. Like, if I'm gonna spend a ton of money on makeup, I'd much rather buy like a fancy eyeshadow palette, you know? I'm sure you guys can relate, where it's like, I spent $24 on this, you know? So for my eyebrows, I am NYX Micro Brow Pencil. As I've said before, I think it is merely okay. I'm really just not impressed. I don't really think it's a dupe of the infamous brow pencil that I miss. Use it up and then that'll be the end of it. And it says it's black, but it still has an unusually warm tinge to it, which is... The kittens are knocking over all of my squishmallows. Well, are they kittens if they don't destroy things? Like, are they even kittens? So I drew it on too thick at the end, but whatever. Good enough. Let me just make this one a little bit longer. I definitely feel like I look better once my eyebrows are like twice the length they usually are. And then I'm gonna use my brow blade as usual. So now everything is ready, face prepped, eye primer has had a couple minutes to set in. So I'm gonna just use a couple shades from this monstrosity, and we'll see how it goes. I have already watched a couple videos on this, so I'm sure I'll think it's alright. I don't really think I'm gonna think it's like groundbreaking or anything, which is completely fine, not expecting that. So I am going to first go into the shade here, this shade here, and it's going to just be my contour shade. I usually what you always want to do is you want to make sure you buy during like the point multipliers. So particularly on the 10x point multipliers, whatever's available, if I wanted it, I'll buy it. I'll wait for that, and it only happens in like August or so, but it's always well worth the wait, because then if you get 2,000 points, so you spend $200, you get 2,000 points, then you get $125 of points. So that's what I do. Then I use those points to buy whatever I didn't feel like paying for myself, where I just like, I don't want to pay for it, but at the same time, curiosity has gotten the better of me. I also picked up some nail stickers and some nail stuff because I'm getting into nails. I know I have too many hobbies. And then the other thing that I got besides the powder was I also got the Benefit Extreme Precision Liner in brown. I'm hoping this can replace my going to die soon Flow Flushy liner that I'm gonna miss so much. I swatched it on my hand and it seems really promising, so I can't wait to try using this. I'm gonna use this to draw some fake lashes. So that was the other thing I got. But yeah, so I'm just using this shade to more or less contour my eyelid, and it is going on really nicely, and it is definitely a really perfect eyelid contour shade for me. It's giving off a really pretty effect, and it's not too warm or cool. Yeah, that's really nice actually. I don't have anything bad to say about it. So then it said to take kind of like an angled brush of some kind and take a darker brown shade. I'm gonna take that dark brown. Here, I'll need to hold the palette up. It's this shade here, this dark brown. And I'm going to use that to try and do the douyin look. We'll see. Questionable. I probably should have watched the video again before filming this. We'll see. We'll see. No judgment yet. So I'm gonna just kind of smudge that out a little bit. And then it says to kind of take whatever's left on the brush and use that to contour your aegyo-sal. So I'm gonna do that. So you kind of make a fake smile, and you can see I kind of highlighted it there. I don't really like to contour my aegyo-sal, I much prefer to highlight it, but we're doing douyin makeup, so I'm supposed to make myself look like an anime figurine. So I contoured that, and I'm going to again take a brush and kind of try and smudge that out a little bit. I mean, it's actually pretty subtle already. To me, I feel like I'm making myself just look old. We just have to hope that it all comes together. And then I'm just gonna darken up this line a little bit. Okay, so that's gonna be what that's looking like so far. It'll be okay, I think. So I'm now going to work on the little tiny section. So I'm gonna just take a little tiny brush, and it's time to see how well these light shades work. So I'm gonna take the shade Biscuit, which is right here, and I'm gonna fill in this blank space. Okay, yeah, not bad. And I think I need to actually, I think I might have drawn the line to move away from my lash line too soon. So I'm just gonna kind of fill it in here so that it doesn't go away from my lash line so quickly. Okay, I think that looks marginally better, so I'm just gonna go back into Biscuit. And this shade is actually not that bad. It's pretty good. I have some skin flaking, so ignore that. It's not as light as I probably should have gone with. I know people for this part, they generally use a cream liner or they just use straight up concealer. So if I'd wanted to do that, that would have been better, but I wanted to use eyeshadow. Okay, so that's what we're looking like right now, and I think I could use a little bit more contouring of the aegosal area, so I'm just going to use a very light hand with a little bit of eyeshadow and just kind of touch up the contour. I feel like it looks a lot better on camera than it does in real life, because me looking at myself, I just look old. Yeah, it looks a lot better on camera, but to me, I just look like I have wrinkles. And I bought these so long ago and I just completely forgot I had them. These are the Melt liners. They were like super discounted, so I bought several shades. So I'm gonna use this to do a smoky eyeliner effect. These blend so easily. Oh yeah, they're still like pretty much brand new, which is really nice. So I'm just going to use the cap, which I always do, to adjust the amount, and then I'm going to go from there. Yeah, and I forgot how soft these are. So these blend out so easily too. So you can see I'm just blending and smudging it to my liking. And I do need to draw it pretty high up so that it's actually visible, so I'm just gonna keep working on that. Okay, so now it's more visible. So now I'm just going to take a smaller eyeshadow brush. And I'm just going to take a smaller brush and I'm just going to work on blending that out by using the brown shadow I used earlier on my lower lash line. Oh, this one has shimmer on it. I just got shimmer everywhere. Well, excuse that. The eyeshadow also kind of helps to set it too, so it's not going to go anywhere, which is nice. And that's going to be the eyeliner look. Really pretty. I need to use these Melt eyeliners more. I forget that I have them. I used to have them in a drawer and I thought that was fine, but then I like forgot that they were there because I never look inside the drawer, so I've moved them out onto my desktop, so now I see them. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I feel like it's pretty well smudged. I probably could have done a better job, but I haven't done smudged eyeliner in a while, so I'm out of practice. I feel like I went a little heavier on my left eye, so I'm just gonna catch my right eye up to speed. Okay, so that's gonna be eyeliner. I do like a bold cat eye sometimes, but not right now. So then I'm just gonna use what's left to just continue to blend out this line here. I just feel like it doesn't look quite right, but whatever. Alright, so that's the look so far. I think it looks alright. I wonder if I should have brought the line out further. Let's try that, see what happens. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, it could be worse. Like, admittedly, this could be worse, but it's really not like the worst thing ever. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into Meat and Potatoes, which is this shade here, and I'm gonna use this to be the highlight shade on the aegosal like I'm supposed to. I know a lot of people on Douyin opt for like a glitter shade, but I'm gonna do something more subtle because I like already contoured my aegosal a lot, so I don't really know how much I want it to like shine. The shade is a little darker than I was expecting though. I feel like there's not really a true inner corner highlight shade in this palette, which for how big it is, there should be one. Okay, so just something nice and soft. I don't want anything too terribly drastic. I guess I could have if I wanted to. I don't know. I'm a little scared. Yeah, I don't know. Contouring the aegosal I don't think is really for me, but It's a look. I feel like it makes my eyes look interesting, to say the least. So I do really want to put on a small shimmer, so I'm just gonna take this shade here. I know I've heard the silver and this is really good, but I'll save that for some other time. So these seem pretty subtle, but also very smoothing, so I think it'll just be a nice little accent for the look. And I'm just gonna put it up here. This might have been better to use as my inner corner highlight, I'm not sure. I'm just putting it in the middle. It goes on well with the finger, but it doesn't feel necessarily super special, which I was hearing from some people that these are pretty understated, but at the same time it does make them very smoothing, so not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Okay, so that's just a little bit of something on my eyelid, just so that it's there. And I am gonna go ahead and put that on my inner corner too. I think this will be a much better inner corner shade. Yeah, this is probably the shade I should have used on my USL, but that's alright. It does have a very pretty finish to it. Like, it's not like super foiled, but it is very smoothing, so it is still quite pretty. And I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on top of what I laid down earlier on my lower lash line because it's just so much nicer. So I'm going to curl my lashes, and I'm also just going to put on false lashes because I don't really have any waterproof mascaras. I did order some off YesStyle using some spare points, but they're not in yet. So I'm just going to test out. This is a Refer Lash Curler prototype. It has a different curvature apparently. I'm going to test it out. And I'm just curling them a little bit so that the false lashes they don't show beneath my false lashes. I know the curl is not going to stay up for very long. It's just kind of just doing it just cause. Now I'm going to see how this works on my lower lash line. I think this might be a little bit too curved for my lower lash line, but this kind of feels like it sits right in between Shiseido and Shu Uemura. So let me put on some false lashes. I'm gonna do it off camera and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I put on my ARDELL 815s. I used the Petite Cosmetics glue this time. It is way stickier, so I'm having far less problems with putting it on. So now I'm gonna do mascara. So something that was mentioned very specifically for this is that you don't want to put mascara all the way to the outer corners because you're faking where your lashes are. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this Huda Mascara Mini and I'm just going to put it on the front and the middle only. I have like no lashes right now, so if you feel like you're not seeing any difference, it's really just because, I don't know why, but I just recently have gone through a major period of lash loss. But this Huda mascara does a really good job. I just don't have lower lashes. It's very frustrating. Alright, so now I'm gonna take what I'm the most excited about in this video, and it's going to be the Benefit They're Real Extreme Precision Liner. It is the brown one, and when I saw this I freaked out. I swatched it on the back of my hand yesterday, and as you can see it's still hanging out. It swatched so clean and the brush tip felt so precise. It was specified as a brush tip, very precise and thin. I bought roller liner over a year ago and I promptly gave it to my sister. The moment I opened it and realized it was felt tip, my heart just shattered into a million pieces. This is brush tip and I'm so excited. So I'm gonna draw fake lower lashes along the fake line I drew, and that's one way you can really boost the illusion. I'm not sure I'm doing it right. Like I said, I'm gonna do more research later. I wonder if I might have drawn this line too thick, I'm not sure. But you can see I tried to. I feel like it just looks like I drew little lines, but I tried. And then I'm just gonna fill in any gaps here. This is a really, really thin, precise brush tip. I am absolutely in love. Yeah, I don't think this first attempt at douyin makeup went well, but there's a first for everything. But yeah, this is gonna be the eye makeup look complete. I don't think it went super well. I think it could have gone way better, but at the same time, it doesn't look as bad as I expected. So I don't really think I got the illusion of bigger eyes or anything. If anything, I just look kind of strange, but that's okay. So I'm gonna move on to the blush, and like I said, I couldn't decide if I was gonna use cream or not, but I think since we're here, I'm just gonna go ahead and use cream because I went through all this effort of not putting powder on, so why not? So I haven't used this in a really long time, but I really want to show it off and make sure that I still like it, check that it's still good. It's the 3CE Velvet Blush in Vienna Rose. This is a matte liquid blush, and like I said, it's been forever since I've used it, but I want to use it because I haven't used it in a while, and it's kind of embarrassing that I haven't used it in so long. So I'm just going to work this out with my finger, and then I'm going to take a brush and finish. This does set very quickly, so That's why I needed to spread it out with a finger first, and then I'm just gonna stipple it across my face. This is so pretty. I don't know why I stopped using it. It's probably been like 6 or 7 months since I last used it, which is just embarrassing. I've had it for over a year at this point and it's not dried out yet, so pretty impressive honestly. I really want to get the other shades, but I told myself I can't get those if I'm not going to use them. And it goes really well over the places where there was some powder already, and it just completely matte finish. Just perfect watercolor blush effect. And it's not overly dark either, so me putting down all these dots that you see here, it's not too much. So I just kind of tap it out with my finger first so that it spreads out a little bit, and then I go in with a brush to finish. I did put on a little bit too much because I got carried away, but I do like how I look with a lot of blush on, so I'm not really complaining. I do have a really long mid-face, so putting on a ton of blush kind of helps to shorten it because it just, you know, there's just all this color. At least in theory anyways, you know, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to put on some highlighter, and for that, I kind of want to use a more natural looking highlighter. There's a highlighter that I got in a trade, and I haven't featured it on camera yet, but it's the Hollywood Superstar Glow highlighter from Charlotte Tilbury. Now, goodness grief, this thing is enormous. I literally will die with this in my hands. But yeah, I don't know, somebody else was trading for it, so I was like, whatever, I'll trade. It's a little bit too dark for me to use on its own or anything, but on top of blush, it's really pretty, and it's actually in light amounts. It's super subtle and very smoothing. So yeah, I mostly just have this for collector's purposes because it's so comically huge. So pretty. But yeah, that's a highlighter I really can only put on top of blush. So then for the rest, for my nose, I'm going to use the Flower Nose Revelation, which you can get from their website globally now, which is really nice. Don't think it's too much more expensive than on Taobao, especially if you place an order over $80 and you get free shipping. The increased prices compared to Taobao is essentially compensating for the fact that global shipping right now is crazy expensive. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on my chin too. I'm so sad, I broke one of my nails, so now I have like a bunch of long nails, and then I have one short pitiful nail, which I actually need to paint over. I'm using Buxom Incognito. I tried to keep my overlining to a little bit less than normal since my makeup is comparatively light. It's still a lot of makeup and it still took me a while. And then I'm just going to do a very simple lip tint. I'm going to use this Blur Fudge tint in 01 from Romand. I initially was going to use something glossy, but the rest of my face is actually pretty matte, so I'm just going to use this. And I put on a lot of lip balm earlier, so it's not like my lips are going to look totally matte once this is on. I still haven't found the shade Rosiential yet. It's still out of stock everywhere and I'm so sad. The applicator on these is so good. I feel like I feel like you don't have to wipe it off on the neck of the tube, and it also is the right length that I can just swipe it right across my lower lip and it just makes a really nice shape. Like, I just feel like this applicator is so good. This is a very matte formula, but it's honestly pretty comfortable. Now, if you'll excuse my bangs, they do really need to be trimmed and they're also kind of greasy. So this is gonna be the final look. Honestly, with my bangs curled, they're okay length, but yeah, they need to be a little bit shorter. So I tried the douyin look with all of the rest of my makeup on. I will say it actually looks all right. The part that it really failed the most and looks the most awkward to me is definitely my attempt at drawing the false lashes on the outside of my lash line. So I'm gonna have to watch more videos and just follow along with how people did those. I feel like we all know that all the makeup people on Douyin are kind of just magicians at this point. They can do everything with makeup and I don't know how. So learn from the masters. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this cute little video with this natural-ish makeup. This is definitely comparatively a lot less makeup than I usually put on, and honestly, I think I look pretty cute. It did turn out alright in the end. Like, I'm not getting the perfect Douyin effect, but it still, I feel like, makes me look pretty adorable, and I don't think I look like a clown, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Let me know, of course, what you think. If there's anything, if you guys have done Douyin makeup before and you have any tips for me to improve, then please feel free to drop them in the comments. I really want to try more Douyin makeup trends in the future because I feel like they're so cute and so awesome, and they definitely are more easy for me to pull off with my eye shape than other makeup trends. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!